Then we have now the three panels that Vijay will moderate, and later on we'll give you more information regarding the declaration. Vijay.
Thank you very much, Kostas. As Kostas said, we actually have three separate panels this morning, and we will basically allocate it an hour and a half for these three panels.
A little bit less.
So now we have 1 hour.
We'll go fast.
So
We'll be fast.
we actually have the first is the Iaf panel. So with Kostas, Mehmet, and Glyn. So you all will be the shortest panel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. We're efficient.
Exactly. So I think in terms of understanding the challenge, I think the initial speeches we heard this morning from Harry, from Kostas, and from Henrik, and indeed even the speech from Salvatore, gives us the context in which we have to make the most of this morning's, or these three sessions, in the sense that we are proud of what aviation has achieved so far. But that pride does not mean that we are satisfied with everything aviation has done, that we are perfect and therefore cannot improve on anything. Right? We apply our own mind and heart to this sector because we know we can do better, we can improve, which means we are open to discussing opportunities for improving, and not only listening to people who love aviation, we also must listen to people who actually have a different view of aviation, and either to help them better understand our sector or hear what things they think we should be focusing on to become more acceptable. And that becomes even more important because we know how vital the sector is. If we felt the world could live without aviation, we probably could just enjoy the party for Kostas. But we know how important this sector is, which means we have a duty to help the sector keep improving and keep basically allowing others to enjoy its benefits. So Kostas, I'm going to ask you, because you are a co-executive director of the IAF. Now, please tell us in maybe 3 minutes right? Why the IAF exists.
Well, first of all, it's important to understand that there is a need for collaboration. Being in all these different events around the globe, everyone is talking about cooperation, collaboration. But when we get there, nothing's happening. Then we need a mechanism or an umbrella organization. That is what we try to do with IAF together with my good friends here, not only here, people sitting here, and other organizations that are on board regarding this concept, that we need at the end to sit together and find a way to pass the message, not to between us, because between us we know what are the pros and cons, but what we need to show to the outsiders or to our, let's say, enemies. You know, because we have achieved, as I said earlier, a lot, but we are terrible at promoting what we have done already. They don't understand how important is aviation. And a very good example is, you remember with the volcano eruption back in 2010. Then was the time that we needed to promote aviation. You know, it was CNN, a journalist traveling the half of Europe. It took, I don't know how many days to get from one point to the other. And then people were suffering. People collapsed, companies, farmers collapsed in Kenya because the flour couldn't be delivered to Europe. In Middle East, they had shortage of food supply that were coming from Europe. Then we need to promote and we need to work together. What our difference has to remain in the house. When you have a fight at home, you don't make it public. You need to find a way, not to go in the media, blame the other partner. 80%, 90% of things are in common. Only 20-15% are different. There will be always difference, like a family. Always there will be some disagreements, but we need to be sure that we work together. And we need another kind of organization to work with. Because if it is one of these organizations take the lead, the other might not follow. We need someone who is neutral, that will allow us to work together effectively for the sake of aviation.
Thank you, Kostas. Spoken like a true wise 50-year-old. Mehmet.
I'm still 49. In 1 hour I will be
1 hour? You become wiser in 1 hour. I'll ask you the question again in 1 hour. You're also a co-executive co-executive director of IAF, but you're also chair of Pegasus Airlines. I'm going to ask you a question which actually is picked up in your declaration on how best to enhance inclusivity and diversity and oppose discrimination in the workforce.
First of all, let me continue where Kostas left. The idea came through, as I said yesterday, are we going to create conflicts from our differences or synergies? So we are both on the synergy side. So if you read those dark written words, nobody can say no to that. But when it comes to application, and when it comes to the associations involved in it, ego is coming, personal interests are coming, expectations are coming. So that's why we formed an organization without a formal structure as an association, only on voluntary basis for the sake of the aviation. And discrimination is one of those areas. When we look at the globe, we have so many different issues. One of the main issues is the gender equality. And in aviation, this is very crucial because certain areas of aviation, once upon a time, was totally a male-dominated industry. Pilots, technicians, ground handling workers. But this is changing. We are equal. In my company, when we are hiring personnel to any open position, we are hiring person. We are not hiring man or woman. This is very crucial. If we continue like this, if we're going to hire human beings and according to their talents and merits, that's a good start for the preventing the inclusiveness or the discrimination among the genders. So, second is coming your gender. You have to be talented as a person, as a human being, to get the position. Then we are looking for your gender. Then other differentiating points are coming. University, knowledge of the language. So you have to fulfill those merits before your gender. If we can put into our agenda as a company, as a global aviation industry, then we can achieve what we are targeting. Because there were 2 reports. I'm also founder of 2 associations dealing in Turkey about gender equality. And they asked me, as a male, why are you sponsoring this much, this gender equality? I said that, first of all, I read 2 reports. One of them Deloitte, the other one is McKinsey report. They said that when there are women more in the organization and in the management positions, the efficiency increases by 30%. They proved it. So, nowadays, in such a turmoil environment on the economical side, 30% improvement efficiency in your organization without spending a single penny. Who can regret this? Who? Nobody. In my speeches, I'm always telling that women are upgraded version of men. They are very good in organizing. Yes, believe me. Believe me. Because of our testosterone and the hormones.
I'm telling Manal to close to shop.
Manal, are you here?
Yes.
You came back just in time.
So, who can regret to have that 30% efficiency? It's over there. It's a lowest hanging fruit. Why aren't we picking? Why? This is the question we have to ask as a person, as a company, as an industry. So we would like to answer this question. And in our company, we are trying to achieve this, and we try to increase especially the number of technicians, the number of pilots. Now it's over 10% the number of pilots in our company. It was around 2.8% almost 10 years ago. Now we quadrupled that, and we're going to increase it in time. So this is for the sake of the business, for the society, for the environment. Second issue, experienced and talented women is increasing with the new opportunities of the technology and the training and education. In my previous job, I started a program. I was an electronic retailer, technology for women. They questioned me, Mr. Nane, why we are spending our sponsorship money in such an area? I said that, look chaps, who's raising our kids at home? Grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers, if there's a housewife. If they are not talented enough for the technological developments, how we can expect them to raise our children, our future better? How we can fill the gap between those nations? So if we want a bright future, and if we want to fulfill the generation gap, we have to train the woman in the house. It can be grandmothers, it can be the housewives, it can be the aunts who are taking care of the kids, in order to be at least knowledgeable about the technology to fill the gap. And they celebrated the, I think, 15th anniversary last week, and they recognized my name as a starter of this project, and it was very successful. So, we have to use our brain. God gave us a brain. That's the main difference between the other creatures, other living organisms, or living objects in the society, in the environment, plants, animals, and the others. We have brain and we have to use it. And the brain is telling us this gender equality, giving equal opportunities, is for the sake of us, for the sake of globe. That's why we are sponsoring.
Excellent.
I'm personally sponsoring also.
Thank you very much, Mehmet. Interesting, actually, because I didn't know this part, that how passionate you are about this, and people who know, I always like moderating panels which are unscripted. I don't tell my panelists what I'm going to talk about, and because I know each of them are competent people, and I like to challenge them with new things, and so I'm glad I thought of this question for you. Glyn,
Your challenge is coming.
how do we improve operational reliability?
Well, I wish you hadn't used the word competent and then looked at me with the next question. I'll come back to the reliability, but I'd like to start just by paying tribute to my gentlemen to the left and the right. 2 years ago, when they sort of approached me and they said, look, we have this crazy idea to bring the industry together, to focus on what unites us rather than what divides us, I thought, brilliant. You know, it's a shame it took the industry over 100 years to get there, but, you know, these guys were very young gentlemen back then. I was with the Wright brothers, they weren't, so that's different. But I think going forward, we've already heard this morning, I'm going to come to your question in a minute, we've heard the words like cooperation, collaboration, community, work together. These are the words that design around society. And we even had this last night. If somebody drinks a bottle of cognac on their own, they apparently have a problem. They need to go to hospital. They have treatment. I'm not saying it's in my past, but you know, people want to help you. You drink a bottle of cognac with a group of people, that's celebrating, you have fun, you enjoy. So
You need another one.
And then another, and then another. But in fact, that itself, success breeds success. So to do things as a community is the only way forward. Then we come to our industry, and this industry has a lot of great vertical associations. IATA, I had the privilege of working for IATA for about 500-600 years. A great vertical association, ASA, CANSO, ACI, even ICAO, very much vertical based. IAF is horizontal, and that is again the value of looking ahead. We look at, and these are amazing, I do encourage people to read what we actually stand for as IAF, because it allows that collective view. So now I am coming to your question, which if I was younger I would remember, but I'm far older than this man here. It's reliability.
Reliability and performance.
Right, and performance, right. Again, I think we have to recognize that the industry is very complex. You know, from the cargo side, you know, we obviously have these things that don't walk, don't talk, so we need to communicate and collaborate across the entire supply chain. On the passenger side, you have these mega airports around the world now where some people can kind of just wander off and be gone for days. I've now seen that in some airports there's the autonomous wheelchairs. I'm almost old enough to qualify for those. I think those are amazing, get you straight to the gate. But it's really highlighting that everybody has a valuable role to play in operational performance, and also the gender aspect as well. Globally, just to come back to what Mehmet was saying, 6% of pilots globally are female. If we want to have a successful industry going forward, we have to focus on the 50% of the population that doesn't see that right now as a viable opportunity for them going forward. So coming back to the question of reliability, we have to share the vision to say that my problem, or I would say that Kostas's problem is not Kostas's problem, it's partly my problem, it's Mehmet's problem, it's Hendrik's problem, it's everybody's problem involved in the supply chain, because unless all the dominoes fall over in unison, it doesn't work. And I think through IAF and others, we will actually start to share experiences, and it comes down to one word, which is, or two words actually, it's understanding and respect. And I think that is something which is sadly missing in this industry, and I think Mehmet said it perfectly yesterday. If you were outside looking in, and we're all inside, it's difficult for us to be inside, go outside and try and look back in, but if we were actually truly to ask people, tell us about the aviation industry, what do people see? They see tens of hundreds of billions of dollars worth of orders. Ah, you're all rich, wealthy, fat cats. They see the contrails, they don't understand what they are, but they see them and they say, ah, that's a blue roof. They hear the noise. You know, then they see these major aero cities, and they see all the cars coming in, etc. They have a very negative view, but we need them to understand that what this industry is providing in terms of value to their life, not just connecting from the tourism side, but my little domain, which is the air cargo side, there's $8 trillion worth of global trade that comes through in the bellies and the main decks of the aircraft out there. Without the reliability improvements in this industry, we won't be as efficient as we need to be. We won't be as connected as we need to be. We also have a lot of challenges that we need to bring in that next generation of problem solver and say, look, we need your help. We don't know how to solve these problems today. So I think understanding and respect is, excuse me, the framework or the base that this community will actually be successful in.
Thank you very much, Glenn. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Glenn, Mehmet and Kostas.
Selfie.
Including yourself.
Including.
Perfect.
And a picture, and a correct picture.
You stand up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Kostas, before you gentlemen leave.
What we'll do, because